Welcome to a New Beginning podcast. I'm your host, Maureen Doyle. I'm a certified life coach, author, and coffee enthusiast. Did you know that at any moment you can create a new beginning in your health, relationships, career, or mindset? Each week, I will share simple strategies to transform your life and create new beginnings. Ready to start yours? Let's dive in. Hello, my friends. Today, I am thrilled to bring on my first guest, Jade Cherwak. Jade has been a friend of mine and a colleague for well over a decade. And recently, she's been a client. She's going to share with you some of her new beginnings and how she navigated them. And stay to the end of this podcast because we have an exciting announcement to make that you won't want to miss. So Jade, welcome to the podcast.
Why, thank you. I'm so honored to be your first guest. No pressure.
So tell me about some of your new beginnings.
Yeah. I've had a lot of new beginnings. I feel like in my past 36 years now of life. Up until about age 30, I would say my life was filled with lots of fun and exciting new beginnings. I turned 18, moved to Nashville from the country, moving to the big city felt like a new beginning, and then started my college career, moved to Europe for a year, and then did like the whole European travel lifestyle, moved back, started my teaching career, got married. All of that was fun and exciting and curated by me. And then I turned 30 and entered into a new beginning that I really didn't like. And that was the season of trying to build my family and feeling like I was failing. And just to give you a little bit of a backstory about me, people on here may not know anything really about me and my life, but I really have always wanted to be a mom. I thought that by the time I turned 35, I would have 4 kids, quite frankly. And when I turned 30, we started just like trying to create our family. And when it wasn't happening right away, I just started to get really angry. And a lot of anxiety started to build up as months and months passed. And this just like was not going to happen for me. So 2 years of this and a whole slew of bad habits came up. I gained about 30 pounds because, as we've learned in our work together, I'm kind of an emotional eater. So I was in a lot of pain when I felt like I could not build this family for myself for 2 years. And so I was just eating and drinking and kind of doing whatever the heck I wanted to ease the pain I was in. Got pregnant with Blaze after 2 years of unexplained infertility and had Blaze. And then when he died a month later, as you can imagine, it destroyed me. I just felt like, why in the world would I be brought to this place only to be just destroyed again? Are you freaking kidding me? And so that's kind of my backstory. That's what led us to start working together. And I'm now in the best place of my life with a 2-year-old son. And things have just come a really long way thanks to my coaching with you and our work together.
So Jade, let's go back to that time when you lost Blaze and when you and I started to work together. What were you thinking and how were you feeling, just even physically?
Gosh, it's every time I talk about this time in my life, it's almost like I'm talking about a stranger now because I've come so far since those days where it was the lowest I would say I've ever been in my life. I was in such a bad place, as you can imagine, just a shell of my former self, completely empty, completely devoid of any type of joy, full of anger. I was just looking around me and I felt like everyone was just having these happy perfect, healthy families, and why must I be alone here to suffer? And why is it just me? And gosh, it was just like a lot of comparison and just feeling sorry for myself. It was just like very heavy, I would say, at that time. But yeah.
And how did you get moving again?
I asked for help. I would say that's the crucial element, is I could not do it alone. And I think for me, I think it's very important to find what works for you. I had been seeing a grief therapist at the time. It was not for me, not to say it wouldn't be for somebody else. It was so intense, and my last 3.5 years had been intense, and I was just ready for some action. And I was so craving a change that I was just ready to like, know, hey, what do I do? What do I physically do with my days? I don't want to process through these hard emotions just yet with a stranger. I want to know how to create this better life. And so that's what we kind of started to do together. We started to formulate a plan for how I was going to build this better, healthier life for myself.
Yeah. And then we started to do that. And when did you start to notice a shift in your life?
Well, I would say looking back over it, it was a very gentle start. If you remember, like we were meeting just weekly over Zoom, and you started to teach me some principles, and I would like slowly apply them to my life. And it started after like a few weeks, I started to notice my life moving in a positive direction. I would say where I started to notice the biggest shift, well, two things really. First was you really taught me how to start managing my mind. And when I started to actively manage my mind, meaning like deciding every morning exactly how I wanted to feel about my situation and what thoughts that I could choose to think to create that feeling, like writing them down in my journal and getting really clear on how I wanted to feel about this situation. Every day I would get up and do that. And that mental rehearsal, I think is like what you called it back in the day, it's really started to change my life in a huge way because it changed my mindset. And that in turn changed the way that I felt about the world around me after really putting in some work. The second thing was the physical wins. Like we were not only working on my mindset and my thoughts, but we started to work on my creating a healthy body, cleaning up my diet. I cut out alcohol. And after a few weeks, I would say I was feeling really good about myself. I was kind of like noticing some weight start to come off, and really that helped me in a huge way because I was feeling really good physically and mentally.
Yeah. And you had some really good weight loss results as well from changing up your diet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how much was that? How much did you drop?
Yeah. Well, as a side effect of like, all the mental rehearsal I was doing and just changing my diet, not counting calories, just like eating healthier whole foods, I ended up losing 30 pounds last year, like within 3 months. And that was when I like recommitted after George, because I did get pregnant like somewhere in between all of this happening. It was actually when I first noticed the shift and things were going better that fall of like maybe, I think it was fall of 2020. I got pregnant. And so all the weight ended up coming back on, but then only to, I recommitted. I had the knowledge and I recommitted, and then I dropped 30 pounds. And I felt great.
Right. And now you do have your sweet little baby.
Yes. He's so amazing. He's 2. And gosh, I get teary-eyed like at least once a day at something he does because I'm just like, oh my God, I waited so long for him and I get to be his mom. Like that is no exaggeration. It is. I feel so lucky every single day just to be able to like have this baby. It's not a baby anymore, this toddler, but yeah.
And so Jade, tell us about your latest new beginning. It's pretty exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited to finally talk about this because I feel like I've been kind of hinting at it in my stories on social media. But Maureen and I, have collaborated this summer to create a program for you guys. It's going to be an 8-week program really, where we are teaching you the techniques and tools and principles and everything that she taught me back in 2019, 2020, to help women who want to create a better life for themselves.
Right. To create their own new beginnings.
Exactly. And it is called Reinvention because really that's what I did, right? I kind of reinvented myself. And it's going to be, a small group of women. And we're opening up the link tomorrow, launching it for anyone who wants to sign up. And we probably should mention that this is for everyone who wants to create a new life for themselves. You don't have to have lost a child. You don't have to have really lost anyone. You could be grieving the loss of a job, maybe the loss of, a divorce or something, loss of a marriage, loss of health, in any type of change or shift. And anyone who feels stuck, who is wanting to create a better life, I encourage you to check out our program.
Right. And you'll be able to find it on social media, on Jade's social media tomorrow and my social media. But Jade, share with everyone how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so I'm at Jade Cherwak. I'll spell that out because I married a Hungarian and my last name is challenging. So it's at JadeErvinCherwak. And I'll be sharing info on there, and I know you will as well. So
absolutely. And thank you so much for being my first guest today and sharing your story. Your story has been so inspirational.
Oh, well, thank you. I enjoyed being here.
If you enjoyed this podcast, check out my free workbook, 6 Secrets to Getting Anything That You Want. Head over to maureen-doyle.com/6secretsguide to pick up your free copy today.